Baltimore Ravens and Cincinnati Bengals meet for the second time this season in an AFC North showdown on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime, WMAR Channel 2 if you're local here in the area. As the Ravens at 6-3 look to get to 7-3, and the Bengals are 4-5, look to stay alive in the AFC North division race, and they're only one game out of the wild card. Burrow threw 5 touchdowns last week. Lamar Jackson, a perfect quarterback rating. Derrick Henry already over 1,000 yards. Zay Flowers over 100 yards for the fourth time in 5 games. Ravens dominate the Broncos. Bengals dominate the Raiders, who the Ravens lost to. And we're here in week 10 as the Ravens will also debut their new all purple and gold jerseys with the all purple helmets. It's the Flex Zone. It's God's favorite host, Ravens Bengals game preview right here on the Flex Zone podcast. Sack that subscribe button, stick that like button, sound off below in the comment section, predictions, score, keys, X factors, and as always, leave your favorite emoji if anything else helps us out tremendously. Don't want to waste too much of your time. Let's get into the preview of today. As we know, the game is pretty much 24 hours away, a little less than 24 hours away. Let's start with the jersey. If you don't know, I'm sure you probably heard this. Some of the Ravens will be unveiling their all-purple color rush jerseys with the gold lettering, the gold trim on the pants, gold in the helmet, all purple helmet with the Raven bird logo on the helmet. So what do you guys think about this? Thumbs up, thumbs down. I personally like it, something different and not something you want to wear regularly, but once a year on special occasions, maybe a Thursday night primetime game. I'm cool. So if you want to dress like the Ravens, there you go. So that's what they'll be doing. Real quick, we know they did make a trade for Tre'Davious White. I don't have too much analysis about it. It's a piece. Will he play tomorrow? Will Keaton Mitchell play tomorrow? What will be left in the tank of Tre'Davious White? Him, Marlon, Wiggins, Stevens. I guess those are going to be your 4 primary corners. And then I guess whoever's healthy at 5 with Washington, Millette, and Jalen Armour-Davis rotating in under there, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do there, but the move really didn't move the needle for me. I thought it was a major swing and miss by Eric DeCosta, and the pass rush is still going to be the key for this defense. And it gets no easier this week with the Bengals. But let's look at the numbers real quick. We know the Ravens and Bengals match up, and we know, looking at this here, you see that the game has an over-under of 52.5. Ravens are 6-point favorites, and let me fix that for you guys. There we go. Ravens are 6-point favorites, 52.5 over-under. As you can see, Joe Burrow, 212 of 302, 42 yards, 20 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Lamar Jackson, 174 of 255, 2379, 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Derrick Henry, already over 1,000 yards, 1,052, 11 touchdowns. Touchdowns are 100 and 101 on the ground for his career. Chase Brown is coming on strong, 105 carries, 479 yards, 4 touchdowns. I'll talk about him in my keys. And how about this? Jamar Chase, 55 catches, 717 yards, 7 touchdowns. How about Zay Flowers, 46 receptions, 654 yards, not as many touchdowns with only 3, but only 9 less catches and less than 100 yards from Zay and Chase? So shout out to Zay Flowers really emerging into a wide receiver 1. Those M&T Bank commercials paying off for Zay. We know Deontay Johnson had 20 snaps last week, so that's good to see. How does Keaton Mitchell, if he does debut this week, how does that go? So a lot to look at. Let's get to the injuries. We know it's a short week. No Lamar at practice, obviously. Orlando Brown Jr. is questionable. He may play. B.J. Hill also questionable. T. Higgins is doubtful. He'll be out for the Ravens. No Isaiah Likely, no Brett Urban. Jalen Armour-Davis is doubtful. And Keaton Mitchell is designated to return, so he could debut tomorrow night. What is his role? Special teams, third downs, a few packages here and there. We'll see. But the injuries on Thursday night, these short weeks, the Ravens did good, though. They blew out the Broncos. Lamar was on the bench by the fourth quarter, so he didn't have to take any more beatings. He's missed practice, so He will rest and recuperate, and he only got sacked one time. So that's good for him moving forward. Let's get to those keys. Let's start with the offense. No turnovers. Don't turn the ball over. Don't beat yourselves. You need to help out your defense. Don't turn the ball over. Secondly, contain Trey Hendrickson. He's their only pass rusher. Don't let him wreak havoc. Keep him under 2 sacks. If he gets one, you tip your cap. He's a great player. That's what he does. But don't let him wreck the game. Roger Rosengarten. I think you'll be matched up with him a lot. Contain Trey Hendrickson. Work hard. If you got a chip, block him. Don't let Hendrickson go crazy. Third, win time of possession. Joe Burrow can put up yards. The last game was a thriller, 41-38. Ravens probably had no business winning it. He was throwing the ball all over the field to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You got to win time of possession. Limit their possessions. Help your defense out. Win time of possession by running the football, controlling the clock. It'll be very imperative that they do so. I know people may expect a shootout, but I wouldn't mind a 27-24, 24-20 win if they can grind it out and really dominate this Bengals defense. But they're probably going to do like they did last time. Stack the box and Dale Lamar to beat him through the air, which we've seen him do multiple times this season. His fourth perfect passer rating or highest attainable passer rating, tied with Big Ben for most all time. Fourth, no drops. I'm talking to you, Rashad Bateman, and other receivers. No drops. Catch the football. No drops. Fifth, score touchdowns in the red zone. You're going to have to score points to beat the Bengals because you know they're going to be able to move the ball. I'll get to the defensive keys in a second. But you want to be able to score touchdowns in the red zone. If you get to the red zone 4 or 5 times, you want to score 4 or 5 touchdowns potentially. Help out your defense. The more points you score, it makes more pressure on Cincinnati to have to keep up with you. And if you can make them one to Mitchell, you may have a chance to get some turnovers. Defensively, tackle well. We know Cincinnati has speed. No T. Higgins, but you still got Gesicki. You still got Chase. You still got Brown. They traded for Herbert. Yeah, your Lee Sloth. Yeah, number 88. He's pretty good. So tackle well. Keep them under 100 yards rushing. Last week, Javonte Williams in the Broncos, as well as the Tampa game. A lot of runs up the middle. We know Travis Jones is a little banged up. No Michael Pierce. Matt is getting double teamed. Don't let them rush 400 yards. Contain Chase Brown. Next, keep Jamar Chase contained. He only had 57 yards last week, 7 catches. He has great historic numbers against the Ravens, especially here in Baltimore. Expect for them to look to feed him early and often. Who is on him primarily? Is it Stevens? Is it Humphrey? Is it Wiggins? Do we get a little combo? Do we just double him the whole game? I'm probably going to put 2 guys on him and make someone else beat me. But don't let Chase go crazy for 120, 130 yards. If you can keep him under 100, I know he had, 56 last week, so you know he's probably going to go over that this week. Keep him around 85 to 90 yards. Don't let him go crazy over 100. We saw Sutton do it last week still. You got to stop this guy. Don't let him beat you. Let Gesicki go for 100. Let one of the other receivers or Chase Brown will catch 5 or 6 passes, but don't let Chase go crazy. Next, force another turnover. Get a takeaway, a strip sack, force a fumble, punch the ball out, get another interception, a tip pass that's knocked down and leads to an interception. Help out yourselves. Get off the field. Limit their opportunities. And force a takeaway. Get a turnover. Lastly, limit their touchdowns in the red zone. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. They're going to be able to do what they like to do offensively at times, but you got to bend and not break, which they did last week. If they get to the red zone 3 or 4 times, hey, hold them to 2 or 3 field goals. Instead of giving up 21, maybe give up 13. Limit them to field goals in the red zone. They're a very good offense. They have a very good quarterback. They're going to move the ball. You got to play well and bend but not break, especially in the red zone. Special teams, Tucker, stay ready. Last game, you had to make a game-winning kick, right? We're going to need that again potentially. The weather's going to be nice, nearly 80 degrees, not a lot of wind, perfect night for football. Be ready. And secondly, someone step up and make a play. Is it Deontay Johnson? Is it Collier? Is it Wallace? Is it Keaton Mitchell? Let's get a spark. Let's get a big punt return. Let's get a big kick return to change the momentum. We always forget about special teams. It's one of the 3 phases. Let's get a special teams play that can be memorable. Remember Tyler Wallace game-winning punt return last year? Let's get something good there. Something that can help us out on special teams. So going back through, offensively, no turnovers. Contain Trey Hendrickson. Win time of possession. No drops. And score touchdowns in the red zone. Defensively, tackle well. Keep them under 100 yards rushing. Keep Jamar Chase contained. Force another turnover. Get a takeaway. And limit their touchdowns in the red zone. Special teams, Tucker, stay ready. We might need you. And someone step up and make a play. I think I think the Ravens, and I'm sniffling because this weather is so bipolar. I don't know what to have on a long sleeve or a short sleeve shirt, but I think the Ravens win here. They get to 7-3. I know they have the Bengals and they have the Steelers, but the mini bye, then the Eagles. So some tough games coming up. Then you got to play the Harbaugh brother, or you got to go to LA and then play Philly. So they're not going to win all these games, but I think they do get to 7-3. I think even if the Bengals are 4-6, they're not dead yet. I don't think they'll win the division because after what Pittsburgh did, they played the Ravens. Those are probably the two best teams, but Cincinnati only be what 2 games out of a wild card. With what this they'll have what 7 games left to play. So there you go. So they could still finish with 9 or 10 wins. It's possible. So they won't be dead yet. And they have a schedule that they can win some games in also. So we'll see what happens there. And they still got to play Pittsburgh too. So we'll see how it plays out. But I'm going with the Ravens 27. Ooh, I think I'm going to go 27-23. I think I'm Ravens 27-23. I think the Bengals do move the ball, but they're limited to field goals. Bend but don't break. They get a crucial turnover. Lamar and the offense continues to do what they do. They run the ball effectively. They throw the ball effectively. And they just wear them down in the fourth quarter. Win time of possession. I think the Ravens' offensive line dominates the defensive line of the Bengals. And I think the Ravens' defensive line can have some opportunities against the Bengals' offensive line as well. I think if they can keep Chase contained, they should be able to drive into victory lane there. So I am going with the Ravens to get the win by a score of 27-23. I was thinking 27-20, but I'm like, yeah, they're going to score. They're going to score at least two to possibly 3 touchdowns. So I'm going to give them 23, maybe limited to some field goals. But I do see the potential of the Ravens winning here, and I'm nervous. Let me be honest. I'm nervous about this game. I was nervous about the game before the season. I'll be split with Cincinnati, but we win there and lose here. I was faced with. No, I wouldn't be shocked if Cincinnati won. I'm not gonna lie, because this is a divisional game, a short week, anything can happen. But being at home on a short week, not having to travel, guys being able to rest, not being at practice, Isaiah Likely, I could expect a big game from Mark Andrews. Maybe we see more Deontay Johnson. Aguilar can make his one big catch a game. Zay can continue cooking, and maybe Bateman can catch the football. We'll see what happens. I think Derrick Henry can run for another almost 100 yards. I think they got to give him more than probably 11 carries. I know last game he didn't have a crazy amount of carries against the Bengals, but give him touches. Let him wear the defense down throughout the game, and you see good things happen. But God's favorite host, don't have too much for you this week. Got my keys, got my thoughts on the injury report, got my thoughts on the uniform. Thursday, 8 p.m. Prime Video, wherever you watch your Thursday Night Football, locally, WMAR Channel 2. Subscribe down below. It helps us out tremendously. Predictions, score, key factors, keys to the game, anything I missed, what you're looking forward to this week as we're in week 10. Big games, as always. Stay tuned. We did the picks on the flagship podcast. And if you're watching this after the fact, leave an emoji. You don't even have to be a sports take. You can leave your favorite emoji. Tell me it was good. Tell me it wasn't good. Helps us out tremendously. Hit the thumbs up. Leave us a like. Helps us out as well. And subscribe if you're new. Welcome all our new subscribers. We were live for the election. We'll be live after the game tomorrow with the Baltimore Ravens post-game show right here on the Flex Zone podcast. Only place giving you Ravens coverage how you want it when you need it. I have the Ravens improving to 7-3. Bengals falling to 4-6. Ravens winning 27-23 as they will get ready for Pittsburgh in 2 weeks. 10 days off will help them tremendously as they go on the road. That's all I got, guys. Hope you enjoy the game tomorrow. We'll see you afterwards. And stay tuned to the Flex Zone. Have a good night. Go Ravens. We'll see what happens.